Okay, so you've made it through days 1 through 3. You've done your the checklist. You've made sure you've gotten all of that done. And welcome to day 3. Now's where we're really, now that I have your log, you've sent that over to me. I have your pictures, I have everything, right? I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the manual. I'm going to explain to you a bit about binge triggers, about diary entries, all of that. So let's start at the top. Manual. Your manual is going to be something that you create. So I want you to get a separate notebook for this, okay? Just for this course. You could get a cheap dollar one at the dollar store. You know, it's nothing crazy. But you're gonna get a separate notebook for this, and you're gonna start creating a manual. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is you're gonna write down in this manual everything that's in the manual sheet, and you're gonna update it on your own, okay? This is gonna be your guidebook. When you know you get certain mental patterns that come up, right? You start beating yourself up. This is what you tend to say to yourself, and this is how we're going to figure out to get around it, okay? So it'll make a lot more sense if you check out the manual sheet, but I just wanna stress to you how helpful a tool that's going to be. If you have a hard time getting started with that, I won't judge you. I don't think you're lazy. Just tell me. God, I have why do I have 2 hair ties on my wrists? Cutting off circulation. I'm not thinking you're lazy. Just be honest with me, and this way I can help you. Okay, so manual is going to be huge. In that manual, you're also going to put something about binge triggers, and you see that there's a quiz in this chapter about binge triggers. Now, everybody has different ones, and without going into it too in depth, because this is something for us to talk about privately, I want you to figure out what your binge triggers are. Mine, just to give you some examples, are if I'm the first one done eating, I want to keep eating. Like, it's more about time with me. I eat as a means to pass the time, or sometimes a boredom eat, where I just pick at stuff. If I'm portion restricted, if I'm told you can only have this much of this or this much of that, I immediately want more. It's just in my nature. I don't know why. But that's how I get triggered into heading into a binge. Using the binge quiz sheet and us talking in private, we want to figure out what your binges are, because once we work around that, that's how you're going to figure out how to keep it as a sustainable long-term solution instead of just, being good until your next binge, because that's not helpful and it feels like emotional and physical crap. So definitely check out the binge trigger sheet. This is all on a checklist as well if you didn't see in the chapter, so don't worry. All right. Binge triggers, manual, diary entries. You're going to see for every chapter in this program, there are diary entries for every day. I have my notes over there. The jig is up. My computer went to sleep. But we have diary entries for every day. They go along with what we're learning. They kind of reiterate whatever it is we went over, and it gives you an opportunity for some guided journaling. A lot of people want to use a diary or a journal, and they just kind of get overwhelmed where to start. These are guided journal entries or diary entries. So definitely make sure you take 5 minutes at the end of each night and just fill one out for the day that you're at. I'm telling you, over time, you're going to look back at those and see the progress in the growth in what you're writing. And I think that's the most incredible thing. And it's very important to what we're doing to make sure that we stay on track. So definitely pay attention to that and just do them every night. If you forget, it's not a big deal. I'm not gonna flunk you, but it is in your best interest to utilize them as a tool. And I will be looking at them as well to help me make sure I'm guiding you the right way. So, and then another big thing is once you figure out your binge triggers, I want you guys to go through your kitchen and I want you to get rid of anything that is going to be triggering. Now, this usually raises a lot of emotion. People are like, how do I prevent my kids from, I feel bad having my kids or my husband eat what I'm eating. Why? First of all, they want to help you, right? They care about helping you. You're not a burden. You would do the same for them. Also, it's not only just for your health. If it's something that you wouldn't want to eat because it's causing a negative impact on you, it's not doing the better thing to give that to your kids. If you're worried about throwing out the candy that you have stashed, or the overly sweet cereal you have stashed, or whatever it is, and you're truly saying, like, even though I love it, I'm not going to eat it because my kids, but my kids need it, so like I got to keep it. You and I both know there are other alternatives. Your kids will be fine. They won't be scarred for life, and you know it's going to be harder for you in those moments to not have it around. So a little bit of tough talk here. You can text me about it if you're feeling raw. I'm here to help you. But I want you, once you pinpoint your binge triggers, I want you to be aggressive in the way that you clean out your house from things that are triggers. And if you're like, well, that's wasteful, find someone to give it to, because it's between having you eat it and have your health go down the tubes, or have you stuck where you are, and finding a home for half a box of cereal so you don't throw it out. It's kind of like weigh the options. You do deserve the extra accommodation. Don't think it's a bad reflection on you. You didn't ask for this illness. And if the people around you love you and want to help you, they'll be on board. That being said, telling your family about what you're doing could be the scariest thing about this whole thing. If you've always kind of stayed hidden about food, it's never been an issue for you, you've never made a stink or anything like that, it's going to be hard. But guess what? You're worth it. You're worth it. Your family loves you, and don't choose for them. Because when we think we're excluding the people we love from painful, important things in our lives because we're a burden, what you're doing is you're choosing how helpful the people you love can be. And trust me when I tell you, when they see you miserable day in and day out, they want to help you a lot more than you realize, because they care about you and they know how you are when you're not like that. So don't be afraid to tell your family exactly what's happening, and don't say it in a downtrodden way. Just say it's going to be an adjustment, but this is going to help us all live better in the long run. Who's to say those things that are binge triggers now won't be when you get through the program and you have a whole structure and you feel good about what you're eating and doing. Maybe you can have those things around and be totally fine. Many of my clients, that's exactly what happened. But for now, while we're introducing new patterns and new processes, say you're having a late day, you're running behind, you're having a stressful day, you're really hungry and you don't have time to cook. Let's be honest, what's the first thing you're going to grab? Probably the thing you're most upset about throwing away right now. So do your future self a favor and just get it done and tell your family what's going down. So it's all the notes that I have for intro call number 2. Intro video number 2. I'm really excited to start this with you. Again, I want to remind you that working together is only as good as how together we work. My needy clients do the best. You invested in this program and it's not cheap. So get your use out of it. I want you to text me. You are not a pain in the ass. I know you're used to doctors making you feel crazy and like you're exaggerating, but I know what you're going through. I want to hear from you. Don't make me the annoying, clingy girlfriend texting you like, where were you at? Where you at? Because I won't after a point. But besides that, you deserve better than that. You should want your own success more than anybody else wants your own success. Okay? And trust me, I really want your success. So we're going to get you there. Rock out this first week, and then let's move on next week onto inflammation and start getting stuff done.